There we go. Today I feel way more energized. If you saw my vlog yesterday, you know that I was a bit tired, but we have those days as well. And I think the subject now is gonna be a bit more towards diet. And everything I'm about to say, just remember that I am not a professional personal trainer, or I have no education when it comes to eating. So everything I say is just from personal experience and the things that worked for me. So at the moment, and what I've been doing for a while now, is I count protein intake. That's the main factor for me. I almost never count calories. I did it for a while just to get a better perspective of how much some foods actually have. But the things I do now is just counting protein. So I make sure I get about 200 grams of protein. That is definitely towards the higher side. What's usually recommended is 2 grams per body weight in kilograms. So for me, let's round it up. Let's say I'm 90 kg, that would be 180 grams of protein per day, if that's 2 grams. So I'm aiming for 200, and some days I don't really reach it. I might get 180, but then that's still pretty damn good. Let's see how the sun is. Oh, I'm getting blended. And back to the food subject. So protein is the thing I'm really counting. Then of course I'm aware of what I'm eating. So my goal is to rather get a bit more carbs than to get the food intake from fats. Therefore my diet is more towards getting some sort of meat. It could be chicken, it could be meat, it could be tuna is a lot I eat as well. Sometimes beans as well, towards the vegan style. There we have it. So I make sure I get something of that, and then I prefer to have either rice or potatoes. I did eat a lot of pasta for a while, but there's a lot of calories in that as well, and you don't feel as filled up as well. So when I started to eat more rice, it also helped me to feel more filled up, and the calories stayed a bit lower. Even though I'm not counting, I still want to make sure I'm not getting an overdose. Because if I were to just eat, I would eat a lot. I would eat a lot of food. And something that fascinated me a lot was, before I thought a lot about diet, and that it was extremely hard, especially if you want to be on the bit lower side when it comes to calories, or just in general when it comes to eating. But what I found, I've heard this a lot, but I didn't really believe it had that effect. And it's the fact that when you eat a lot of protein, you're not getting as hungry. It's crazy effect. So now when I've been starting to eat like 200 grams of protein per day, I'm not even close to being hungry. Before, if I were to just cut down on the food, I would feel hungry. But now I just cut down on the food, but increase the protein intake, I still feel filled up. And I feel that's the most important part in actually being sustainable, is that I'm not going and being hungry all the time, because then I'll be fucking mad all the time and not feel great. So increasing the protein helped me a lot. And yes, of course you need to go on the toilet a bit more often than I did before, but it's definitely worth it. Because in the beginning your stomach isn't that used to it, but after a while you adapt as well. So now it's absolutely fine. And when it comes to the effect on training, I can't say for sure. It's always going to be hard to say like, oh, this gave me this effect and this gave me this. But I feel like I've been getting a lot of results lately, and I feel like I am recovering pretty good, and I feel like I'm building a lot of strength since I started with protein. There can be other factors in life as well, but in general I would say like I'm gonna continue with my 200 gram intake, because I do feel like I've been getting pretty good results lately. And I think that's the main point, is finding the food or the diet that works for you, that you don't feel like it's too overwhelming. You don't need to think that much all the time, but you're still getting results. So for me, like, yeah, I could lose some weight, definitely have a lot of weight I could lose, but if I'm feeling strong and everything is working, I will stick to the thing that is working until the day comes where I'm getting bad results, I'm starting to feel tired. Then I might look, oh, can I change my diet a bit more to have even more results? But at the moment, if it's working, it is working, and I'm gonna keep doing that. So I think that's also a concept, like if you're starting out working or if you're starting to work out, don't get everything perfect in the beginning. Start to find the things that you know you enjoy doing and that sort of is easy to do, so you can do it for a long time. And if you're not getting results, then start looking at the specifics. Are you getting enough protein? Are you getting enough calories and stuff like that? But if you're finding that the things you do and you actually enjoy doing, that is giving results, stick with it, because that's the goal. You want to enjoy the things you do, you want to enjoy the things you eat, and if it's working, it's working. You don't need to have the strict perfect thing, unless maybe you want to have the craziest results. But for me, like, I'm fine with having great results, not perfect, but being able to like enjoy life, eat, you know, most of the things I want, but still have, of course, a reasonable intake on sugar and everything. That's another point, actually. I try to avoid as much sugar as possible, not for the calories, but because I feel like when my blood sugar is going up and down like this, it affects my training a lot. So if I eat a lot of sugar, let's say yesterday, today's training would be pretty bad. And I'm not a scientist, I don't really know how the curves work, but that's what I found. Like if I eat sugar one day, the next day is fucked. So I try to stick away from that. I also, for a while, started to get some acne as well in my face. And when I took away sugar, I say, you know, just starting to think about, I still eat sugar sometimes, of course, if it's event and stuff, but just in the daily life, I try to avoid it completely. And when I started doing that, the acne disappeared, most of it. And so I stick, you know, just think about that as well, not to eat too much sugar. But I think that's really what I'm doing. And finding just ways to enjoy your food, enjoy everything you do. And if you do it for a long time, you're gonna get results, like, period. But now we are here at the gym, and I think it's time to hit the workout. Yesterday was, like I said, a pretty boring workout. I felt super weak. Today I am gassed up, and you know, I'm ready to hit this workout. It's the final workout with the deload week, so expecting it to feel, I'm gonna feel strong, but I'm still gonna keep the intensity low, even though I really wanna push it. I'm gonna keep this day, have this deload, and then next week, oof, it's time to destroy the game. We're gonna add some things, progressive overload, increase the reps. It's gonna be pretty mad. So a lot to look forward to. But now let's hit the gym, and I will see you in the gym. Fucked up transition. Today is actually Saturday, so it isn't that many people. If you've been wondering why the gym always looks empty, it is pretty empty, but I'm also trying not to film everyone because maybe not everyone wanna be in the video. But today the gym is almost empty, so I thought, why not give you guys a small tour of how it looks. So here is the first place. This is where they usually have the group trainings, and it's pretty big. It is a CrossFit gym, so they have these rigs on both sides and this open area. And most of the time it is just classes here. But when there's not classes, you can also be here, film some content, do your own thing. And then it's upstairs, it's the normal gym where I usually train because there's never any group trainings there, so always free to be there. So let's give, my English vocabulary is bad today. So let's go upstairs and see how that one looks as well. All right, and next up we have the area where I actually train. Let's start off from here. We have some normal machines on this side, and this is literally the only, like, this is the gym. So it's not that big, which I really love because there's not a lot of people here. And then we have this rig right here, which is literally everything I'm using. Perfect for putting the resistance band and then using P-bars or rings, which I'm doing right now. Then we also have all the Gornation P-bars I got in the corner. And then we have a rack with just all the dumbbells that we need for the training. So, in my opinion, a perfect gym, especially for filming as well. See all these windows, they bring in a lot of light. So if you film from the window and in towards the gym, you have really clean lighting as well for photography or video. So yeah, this is where I train. But now let's get into the actual training. I just finished my warm-up, and since it's planche today, I focused a bit more on shoulder warm-up, so a lot of movement and also a lot of wrist warm-up because we're gonna use it a lot. But first exercise for today is gonna be planche push-up. I like to do movement, like exercises, as the first thing, because when I'm doing push-ups, it sort of activates the whole body. Instead of just doing static holds, it's a lot of stress on, you know, the body. And push-ups, I feel like it's more dynamic, sort of warm-up style. But I don't know, maybe it's just my brain. But that's the way I've been going, and I've been pretty good from injuries, which I'm happy for. Now 8 reps. Pretty decent, not the best. I'm still having the problem that I'm moving a lot back and forth with the rings. Still damn fight. But I think every session is getting a little bit better, or at least I hope so. But that was 1 set, and now on to the next one and final one. Still on deload, so only 2 sets per exercise. This is something I really like about this gym as well, since it's a CrossFit gym. A lot of people usually train without shirt because they're doing a lot of sweaty exercises. So for me to be shirtless, it's not that weird, which I really enjoy. And a lot of gyms, especially in Sweden as well, you're not even allowed to train without shirt. So a huge benefit here, because I do feel powerful. If you look yourself in the mirror, you see some pump as well, that is motivating. So therefore I like to train if it's warm enough inside. Some gyms are cold as fuck, and then I don't take off my shirt. Oof. I feel like the first reps were pretty damn good. Then I start to move around a little bit unsynchronized, but still pretty solid. It's time for the normal planche holds. I'm gonna try to have clean form, as perfect as it can get, and then hold for 10 seconds this time. Last session was 8 seconds, I think, with 2 bands, but now we're gonna step it up to 2 more seconds. Not too much, since it's pretty low intensity and a lot of help. That was pretty good. Actually way better control than last time. Maybe deload is actually having some effect. And something I really feel in planche, it doesn't matter if it's on rings or on P-bars, but when I started training I did a lot of leans, and first time I did full planche, it was also almost like a dead planche. Because at that point I almost only trained shoulders, so extremely strong shoulders, but I lacked core strength. And now, as I train for a long time, I start to understand that it's more the correlation between core strength and shoulder strength. So when I start to get stronger in core, I didn't need to lean as much because my core could still hold my legs. And therefore, I started focusing more on the form. When I do like planche and stuff, I really try to have a good form to get that connection. And that helped me a lot. Start building that strength, because that reduced the lean, so I didn't need to lean as much, but still had a pretty solid form. So that's still something I try to think about now, is use the core as much as possible, because it's gonna make it easier. Let's get a form check from the side and see if my last set actually was as good as I thought. Gonna do the same now. Strengthening everything. Locked arms, tighten the core. Oh. Feels pretty good. Hopefully it looks good as well. But that was the final one for the holds. And then next up we have lunge press. That motherfucker.
definitely the hardest one I'm gonna do today, and the hardest one I've ever done. But let's get to it. It's a mission. We're gonna try the planche press on the high rings and see if there's a difference. Because I did use it as an excuse to last session why I was so damn bad at it. And if we try it, I have no more excuses. Snyggt. This is gonna be extremely exciting and interesting to see if I actually can do it. One thing is sure is, if I fail, it's gonna be painful. Let's do it. How the fuck? It's damn complicated, and I can't even, I have to do complete races. I'm gonna try to lower these ones and see. I am studying civil engineering, and it's my 3rd year, so I should be able to come up with a solution. Otherwise, I haven't been taught the right way. Let's give it another shot. Let's see if we can build something good with a even bigger resistance band. Nu vill du hjälpa mig 2 sekunder, bara slänga upp den där.
Mr. Monkey Man.
Monkey Man. Meister. Nope, 2. That's the first one. I'm hoping this one is not gonna move as much. Oh, we see. Oh, maybe this is the civil engineer.
Yeah.
This can work. It's gonna be a tight fit, but we're gonna try. Moment of truth. Either this is gonna work perfect, or it's gonna be a total failure. I think it's better. Let's do 5. Oh, that was the last one. Ooh, still heavy. I feel like the form was, it's still shit, don't get me wrong, but a little improvement from the other bar. However, the setup is way more complicated, so I don't know if it's worth doing. I'm gonna do 1 more set and then judge if it's actually worth doing this every workout or just stick to the other bar. 1 more set of these presses, then I am done with them. Let's actually aim for 5 this time, and if I need to rest a little in between, that's fine. Bad form. 1 more. That was a fight that I did not win. Like, even if it's deload, this motherfucker is hard. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know, with this setup, it's hard to tell if it's more or less help than before deload, so it might be even harder than before, so hard to actually say, but either way, this exercise is a true pain in the ass, extremely hard. I also think I know I'm extremely unflexible, and I do believe that has an effect on this one as well. Since it's last position I'm struggling the most with. Like strong all the way here, and then this final one, I'm fucked. So probably some flexibility needed. But I think that's really boring, so I don't know if I'm gonna add it. Let's see if we can do some rows. That's 140 kg. Shitty form. Probably shut the camera off. Next up, we got some straight arm races. But before I do them, I just want to share two thoughts that I've been learning. Because I did actually start off training, gym training, by the age of 15 roughly. And I'm gonna tell you something about the brain, like it's playing mind games. Because when it comes to training machines, one thing that I thought was, when I train machines, the stacks was sort of a limit. And that can be a good factor, but for me it was a bad thing, because I saw all the weights as like, this is the maximum you will reach. So if I were to do a full stack in a machine, I would be pretty much done. And what that meant was that I trained pretty damn low intensity, because I thought this was like a scale of how strong you are. But then when I switched to calisthenics, it's really hard to see weights in that way. Like when you're training body weight, you're never really relating it to a certain weight. So I built extreme strength. And then after doing calisthenics for a while and going back to machines, I didn't really look at the weights. I just pulled because like, okay, let's just see how strong I am. And I did full rack on a lot of exercises. Because when you're not really seeing or comparing yourself to a scale, that's when you grow insane amounts. The same was like, I am a big ass calisthenics dude. Most people are a bit shorter in this game. But when I started training calisthenics, no one told me that there's not a lot of calisthenics athletes in your size. So it's probably gonna be hard for you. No one said that to me when I started. Because all I really wanted to do was improve in statics and freestyle. And that's what I did. I trained like my maximum. I trained my maximum, and I never heard anyone tell me that it's hard because you're a taller athlete. And that's one of the reasons I think I grow so much, because I never had that thing in my brain saying that it's gonna be hard, like no limits. And I just wanna share that, like calisthenics athletes are extremely strong because we're not comparing ourselves to a rack or a rank or anything. We're just building strength, we wanna achieve a certain thing, and it's not really a limit. You just want your goals and like no weights related to it. That was a pretty long explanation. I hope some of that was kind of makes sense, but hopefully you get what I mean. But let's get on to the straight arm races. Masculinity at its finest. I got myself 215 kg dumbbells. During the normal weeks I did 17.5 kg, so 15 is good for deload. And we're gonna stick to 10 reps and 2 sets. Feels good. Feel like I could do probably 5 more reps with decent form. So at that point I know it's a good level for deload, because I don't want to be at max intensity and be just all dead after my set. So this is a solid level. I like to believe that this exercise builds a lot of shoulder veins. Or at least I get some veins after doing this exercise. You see some? Maybe a little here. Already getting to flexing. It's like as soon as I see myself, I always do a flex. Weird, it's like it takes. But now we are done with the raises and it's time for weighted dips. Another chest and shoulder burner. And triceps. Let's get it. Got myself 50 kg for the dips. It's a bit less than I usually do, which is good for the deload. I always need to pull up the pants, because when I have weights under, like they usually pull down. Don't want to flash too much, it's only on YouTube. But the goal is going to be 10 reps, 2 sets. Oof. Pretty good. I'm not a perfect reps and sets dude. Been doing it for fun, so I don't have perfect technique or competition technique at all. But I think about having sort of a protracted form. So I want to be a bit more lean forward and push here, so I don't open up my chest. I feel a lot in the shoulders. I did that a bit before here. It's not good. I feel like it's high chance of injury, so if I try to be compact and shoulders more together. Yeah, I already put on the weights. It's the final set and actually the final one for today. Let's put on a banger music and destroy this final. The song I'm about to put on is like, it's screaming so much like you just want to stone and like almost like rave. It's crazy, you're gonna hear it through the microphone as well. Let's hit it. Ooh, it's flying. It's because of the music. Oh my god, like in statics, it plays a decent amount of role having good music. But when I do freestyle, and freestyle is like 90% mindset, 10% strength, I really need the music to get into the mood. And if I don't have music, it's a bad workout. So it plays a major role. Let's go and do some flexing and wrap up this session. I ran to the camera, I ran to the mirror and put up the camera. See if we still got some pump. I'm in pretty good shape now, I'm not gonna lie. It's nice to do some flexing, get up your self-confidence. Last time I did learn some few new ones. This one is old. Pretty solid. I got like a side bicep. Oof, pretty decent. Then we had a one arm up, one arm bicep flex. Too big to be even in the screen. Pretty solid. Maybe some tricep, if that's gonna work. I don't know if we have any light here. It's pretty good light though. It's when you have lighting straight up, coming down, you get the shadows. I'm looking a bit more jacked in the camera than in reality. But I mean, still pretty solid here as well. Yeah, now I feel done with flexing, not really my thing. But I hope you enjoyed today's session. I felt way stronger today, which is good. And this was the final session before actually being done with the deload. So next week on Monday, I'm gonna be back. And it's gonna be a lot of gains, a lot of reps. That's gonna be the new thing. So this week I cut down on sets and on intensity to have the deload. Next week, I'm gonna instead increase the reps. I'm gonna keep having 3 sets as I had before the deload. And the intensity is gonna be the same as before the deload as well. So the only difference is that instead of doing 8 reps, I'm gonna do 10 reps. But I will tell you guys more about it next session as well. I'll see you guys then. Ciao, ciao.